Coppell is part of the Liverpool Academy, at university where he studied economic history, at Anfield where he fell under the spell of Bill Shankly's intoxicating brand of football. As a player, he graduated with honours for England and for Manchester United.
Bill Coppell, beautifully done, brilliant goal.
And still regards himself as a keen student in all aspects of football management and coaching techniques. As a talent spotter, he's got few peers in the modern game. Ian Wright, Mark Bright and Jeff Thomas cost Palace £125,000 combined. Their current market value runs into millions.
Looking to change the picture. Here's Wright. Oh, that's magnificent. Direct, dangerous and deadly.
The biggest win of Kenny Dalglish's career came against Palace in September of last year. Peter Beardsley scoring the pick of 9 goals on a never-to-be-forgotten night at Anfield. It prompted Coppell to make Nigel Martyn Britain's first £1 million goalkeeper. In last season's FA Cup semi-final against Liverpool, Martyn conceded 3, but Palace scored 4, and they were on cloud 9. Very good afternoon to you. Liverpool top, Palace 4th, a near-capacity crowd here at Selhurst Park, and they don't know yet that Steve Coppell has just signed a new 3.5-year contract, the first written agreement he's had with Chairman Ron Knowles.
Well done, Steve. Let's hope the next few years are as successful as the last few.
Thank you. Well, there we go, Ian. Exclusive news and great news for everybody here.
Well, that's one of the best signings Ron Knowles will ever make, I think, getting Stevie to stay here, because what has happened during his reign here at the club is magnificent. And they're only growing all the time. Today will be a great test of just how far down the line they've gone. You know, I saw them both the games last year against Liverpool, and we're totally outclassed. But since the semi-final, you know, things have changed, and we'll see a different Palace today, I'm sure.
Just a very quick one, Ian, on the Liverpool lineup. What do we expect today?
Well, nobody knows who knows about Kenny Dalglish and what he will do. I certainly don't.
It's always fascinating, isn't it? Right then, let's join our commentators. And joining Brian Moore this afternoon is the England captain, Tottenham forward, Gary Lineker.
Well, there we are, Gary. It's good to have you on the perch with us. Our first job, as usual, is to check on the two teams. Let's take the Crystal Palace side first. They're unchanged. And they've got Nigel Martyn in goal. Number 2 is John Humphrey. 3 is Richard Shaw. Here he comes. Number 4 is Andy Gray. 5 is Eric Young. 6, Andy Thorne. 7, John Solarco. 8, Jeff Thomas. 9, Mark Bright. 10, Ian Wright. And 11, Eddie McGoldrick. So important the skipper, Jeff Thomas, passed a test on a hip injury this morning. Power in the midfield alongside Andy Gray. Trickery down the flanks from John Solarco and Eddie McGoldrick. And goals, of course, are the business of Mark Bright and Ian Wright. Liverpool, meantime, with Bruce Grobbelaar in goal. Number 2, Glenn Hussein. 3 is David Burrows. 4, Steve Nicol. 5, Jan Molby. 6, Gary Gillespie. 7, Steve Staunton. 8, Ray Houghton. 9 is Ian Rush. 10, John Barnes. And 11, Steve McMahon. Well, as Ian was saying, just how will they play? Extreme caution, possibly. That led to the defeat at Arsenal. Cautious, but victorious at Tottenham. They're likely to have 5 across the back to counter the speed and thrust of Bright and Wright. 3 in the midfield. Rush and Barnes up front. Barnes possibly slightly withdrawn. The substitutes today at Selhurst Park: Alan Pardew and Phil Barber for Crystal Palace, Ronnie Rosenthal and Nick Tanner for Liverpool. Tanner, a midfielder previously with Bristol Rovers. Referee Roger Gifford from Mid Glamorgan. And the balloons have been released around Selhurst Park, and you can see the remnants of some of them on the pitch at the moment. That's going to delay the kick-off just for a moment or so. It's such an important afternoon for Crystal Palace, and a real incentive for them, because a victory here at Selhurst Park takes them to within 3 points of Liverpool and just 2 behind Arsenal. And the talk of a Palace title bid would then really have some quite convincing evidence. Gary Lineker alongside me. What sort of game do you envisage? First of all, with this Liverpool lineup, again, it looks as though there's an element of caution about it, Gary.
It's difficult to predict their actual lineup, because they have got so many players that are so versatile. They've also got a tremendously strong squad. So Kenny Dalglish is able to change his side and change his tactics for different circumstances. And It'll be interesting to see how they line up today. I think personally they'll probably go with 5 across the back.
And as I'm saying, that's to counter the thrust and the pace and the goal-scoring potential of Wright and Bright. They do say that strikers hunt in packs, in pairs, and here's Mark Bright with Ian Wright on the other side of the centre circle. They've done fabulously well for Crystal Palace. But it's going to be Liverpool who get the game underway. In their change, Struve Silva. Attacking the goal to our left. Burrows playing it along towards Barnes. Eric Young with him. John Humphrey getting in quickly. Came off the referee there. And Barnes hit across and an early touch. And a strong one through there for Nigel Martin. And that Liverpool attack coming about. Just the ball rebounded off the referee. Here's Salako. Down to Thomas. So important that Thomas passed that fitness test this morning on a hip injury. He's so much power through that midfield. He's really the Steve McMahon of the Palace side, and there's really no greater compliment than that. But a free kick then to Palace. Eddie McGoldrick with it. Big Eric Young up from the back to test Liverpool's resilience in the air. Wright bobbing around in there too. But Steve Nicol got that away quite comfortably. Andy Thorne only as far as Barnes. Hits it to Rush. Little ball now for Staunton. Salako getting back. Burrows, McMahon. Just flipped through there to John Barnes. Some space out there now for Burrows to get his cross in. And a missed kick there by Salako. Looks as though Mulvey's playing more as a sweeper. Hussein cushioning the header there for Nicol. Houghton. Staunton. Gary?
Yes, John Mulvey's definitely playing as the spare man at the back. He's not playing as a deep line sweeper. They're playing basically in the line, but he's definitely the spare man back there.
Barnes hustling with Thorne, and a foul by Thorne on John Barnes, a free kick to Liverpool. Salako having a very good season for Palace. Mulvey. A Palace throw.
The great strength of Palace is they do work very hard for each other, especially in the midfield.
Well, they have plenty of opportunity of doing that today, Gary.
Yeah, they will, and they'll have to if they're to compete against Liverpool, because despite the fact that Liverpool are a wonderful footballing side, that has always been one of their great strengths too, the fact that they do work so very hard for each other.
Wonderful atmosphere at Selhurst Park, which I'm sure is coming through to you at home, as McGoldrick now lines up this free kick for Crystal Palace. Wright is in there, Wright is in there, and Grobbelaar having it just ahead of Andy Thorne. Liverpool just beginning to feel the hot breath of the pursuing pack behind them in the First Division. They've been through it all before, of course, and they've never been ones to say it's a one-horse race. Arsenal are in there, Palace are in there, Leeds are certainly in there too. Here's Mulvey once again. And Palace exerting some good pressure in these opening minutes. Richard Shaw with the throw for them. No, he's leaving it for Salako. Sandy Gray, who's normally got good long throws for Crystal Palace. But here's a Salako version. And a very good, long, respectable throw, that one. Hussein getting up there. Burrows stabbing it away. Houghton. Shaw, but that will fall for Barnes. Staunton to the far side to Burrows from McMahon. Staunton again. And a fierce challenge there by Andy Gray. two clubs really bristling with good form here. Palace, one defeat in their last 8 league games. Liverpool just one defeat all season in the league, and that at Arsenal. Palace have won the last 3 in the league on the trot. Here's Barnes making a very good break. For a moment, it looks as though he's lost Young. Barnes again. Rush waiting in the middle. The cross has gone beyond Martin. Houghton wasn't quite big enough to get a header, and it'll be a goal kick.
Liverpool are already looking dangerous on the counter-attack. They're just hoping to be patient, contain Palace, and then hit them quickly on the break. The replay there, John Barnes going down, what he's so good at is getting crosses in. He gets so many crosses in for Liverpool, creating chances for his teammates.
Gillespie. Gray. Molby. Always one to take his own time. Never hustled. McGoldrick getting it forward again. Molby once again. Looking around. Calmness personified there. McMahon. He has such a good influence. There's McMahon with a long ball, looking for Nicol. Sulako's closed him down well. Houghton. But his cross in towards Burrows on the far side. A valuable little touch there by Nigel Martin, and then completes the clearance into touch before Burrows can get in. But one of the Palace players down there. And Martin really came a long way out there, Gary, and it was an excellent cross in.
Yeah, I think that when he first started to come out, I was wondering whether he was going to get there. But in the end, it proved a good decision because he got a vital touch, although he got injured in the process. But Burrows might just have sneaked in there.
It's McGoldrick, the injured player. Nigel Martin, a £1 million goalkeeper, a record signing. 10 clean sheets in 25 games this season, and he hasn't missed a game since he arrived the November before last. So soon after that 9-0 defeat that Palace suffered up at Anfield. Well, Eddie McGoldrick okay again, and Liverpool's throw on the far side. Gillespie. McMahon. Nicol. Rush. Richard Shaw with this throw. Still only 21 years old. Up to Mark Bright. Thomas. Wright trying to get there first. Knocked it off Staunton. Changed the direction of the play there, but it was just that too firm for Mark Bright to collect. Houghton. Thomas challenging him. Nicol to Barnes. There's Shaw getting it back. Came up through the apprentice racks here at Selhurst Park. I must say the pitch has drained really well after so much rain, and when you think also that two clubs play on it, Charlton Athletic as well as Crystal Palace, it's in pretty good shape. Goal kick. I was saying earlier that two sides bristling with good form, Gary. When you look at it, they've played, since that marvellous semi-final at Villa Park, they played 50 games between them and lost only 5 between them.
Which is reflected in their positions in the league tables.
Indeed.
I think that both sides are up there challenging for the title. Palace obviously the unexpected one, but they're proving what a strong force they are this season.
This is Humphrey. Molby.
Well, that was a masterly bit of football by Molby. And the way he killed the attack in the first place, took his time, and then with an inch-perfect pass of some 45 yards out to Burrows. Here's Burrows again. Being challenged by Gray. Houghton, the little chip in towards Barnes. Might leave it now for Staunton. The two sides, Liverpool looking the more dangerous in these early stages.
Yes, they are at the moment. They're playing some nice football. Jan Molby was excellent there, clearing up a dangerous situation at the back and then releasing a tremendous pass. But they're knocking it around, and it's similar to the game, the semi-final, first half there, where Liverpool looked to be in control. But we mustn't forget Palace are very dangerous, especially from free kicks, and that's where they'll be looking. And I know that they do fancy themselves against Liverpool.
10 minutes gone, no score here at Selhurst Park. Crystal Palace 0, Liverpool 0. As usual position, upright at the bench, Kenny Dalglish, Liverpool manager. Baldrick, took on 3 there and lost in the end to Staunton. Nice little touch there from Barnes. Swift challenge by Thomas, flicked away that time by Gray. Now Ian Wright. Wright has made the break for him. But Hussein had got back well as well, and the danger ended there. Salako. A long cross towards McGoldrick. Grobbelaar. Safe handling. And what a good throw. Straight to Barnes. Into Houghton. Rush waiting in the middle, and McMahon was coming in quickly too. He'd lost his marker, and Martin was there to make the catch. Now Wright.
First glimpse of the Wright-Bright partnership there. Long ball up to Mark Bright, who's very strong in the air, knocking it down for Ian Wright to try a speculative shot. But as you say, if you don't shoot, you don't score.
New style Grobbelaar shorts there. Luminous green under the grey.
It's for when it gets dark, Brian, so we can see it. I think most players nowadays like to wear these, or quite a few. They're certainly coming into fashion. I think they seem to keep them warm in the hamstring and groin area. Personally, myself, I don't like them, but I know a lot of players do find them quite comfortable.
Salako, there's confidence for you, Gary Lineker. A little chip over John Barnes, getting it back.
Slightly dangerous, so I think there's a few hearts on the mouth on the Palace bench then.
Hussein's header, knocked away by Nicol. Up goes Andy Gray. Still no goals here at Selhurst Park. Nicol hits it forward again. Richard Shaw this time for Palace. The teams haven't met, in fact, since that epic FA Cup semi-final, which Palace won 4-3. Liverpool, in fact, did the double over Palace last season, the much-recorded 9-0 victory at Anfield, but also one of 2-0 here at Selhurst Park. Here's Salako. Right. Shaw just couldn't keep it in play. It'll be Nicol with the throw. Capacity here at Selhurst Park these days, just a fraction under 30,000. An all-ticket crowd of 26,000 here today. Young getting there a fraction before rush. 2 Welsh internationals battling for it. McMahon, he's left that one now for Andy Gray. Shaw getting in first. Here's Salako. Stopped by Nicol, at least half stopped by him. Gray again. McGoldrick. Towards Bright, but a good header away again by Hussein. Got a bit of distance on it. Thomas. Shaw. Good little ball, played inside now for Salako. Trying to get to the line, does so successfully. A missed kick there, and Humphrey came in. The missed kick there by Gary Gillespie. And Liverpool unhappy in defence about something and had a word with referee Roger Gifford. But Salako made a good break here, Gary.
He did, and he got a good cross in as well. It was a difficult one to cross, a bit of a slice clearance from Gary Gillespie there. And a half chance, probably Palace's first real chance of the game.
Robilla with the kick. Humphrey. Hit towards right, but Gillespie shadowing him. Coming up to the quarter of an hour mark. If you just joined us at Selhurst Park for this live game, Crystal Palace 0, Liverpool 0. Now Andy Gray with the long throw, also wearing the type of shorts we were talking about a moment ago. It's a good throw too. Gillespie got up well for that one. Staunton helped it. McGoldrick turning it in. Young with a little touch. Liverpool didn't know much about that as it went across their 6-yard area. And Nicol hammers it away. Shaw. Holding off Rush. Good determined play there by Richard Shaw. Now Salako. Turn Nicol well. And Bright was in there. Hussein, for some reason, seemed to duck underneath that one, and Bright was almost in. And Liverpool were almost undone.
I think the problem Liverpool are having is the fact that they are playing the sweeper. When the crosses are coming in, there's sometimes too many of their own men there, and they're perhaps waiting for each other to clear it instead of attacking the ball. Mark Bright there and the other Palace strikers are really attacking the ball, and it's causing Liverpool problems.
Gillespie away. Burrows getting that one away. Thorne. Staunton's head up for McMahon. Houghton's up ahead of him, so is Barnes. But he hit it straight at Shaw. Finds Andy Gray. The long clearance. Now will Wright get there before Grobbelaar? Now Grobbelaar's in trouble, and so could Liverpool be! Just beyond the goal. And a much relieved Liverpool goalkeeper gets back. Harry Lineker.
Tried to bring that in with his right foot. I might be wrong, but Mark Bright was well placed in the centre. And it'd be interesting to see on the replay.
There he is.
I think he possibly did try and bend that in.
I think he was looking for it.
It would have been some goal if he'd have scored.
You can see the picture of Mark Bright there on the far side of the 6-yard area. Barnes with a header. Rush. Back to Barnes. Hit first time. Easy that time for Martin. Well, he won't have been too happy with his goalkeeper's antics there. Chasing Molby there as well, and that's a free kick to Crystal Palace. The foul by Molby on Ian Wright. Salako will take it. Thorne's up at the near post. Young's come up from the back as well. Fight is in there too. Andy Gray might be taking the...
It really caused Liverpool problems, these set pieces.
Well, let's see. It's going to be Andy Gray with it. Floated out towards Jeff Thomas. Humphrey gets back. And Shaw.
Surprised me a bit there. I thought they'd try the in-swinging one. That's the one that caused them a lot of problems in the semi-final, and that was really an easy ball to defend right on the edge of the area.
And once or twice already today, they've looked a little bit edgy when things have been actually in their 6-yard area.
That's right, and they'll be looking to get better service than that into the box from those set pieces.
Here's Gray. Gillespie, that's a corner. Well, they couldn't save it. It just came off Gillespie's back as he tried to duck underneath it. And Salako will take another corner for Palace. Once again, Eric Young and Andy Thorne are up from the back. Now that is curled in. Grobbelaar's got to go for that one. Gets it, lost it. And in the end, it's over for the goal kick. From all accounts, Bruce had a fairly dodgy time against Queen's Park Rangers on Boxing Day, and he looks a little less than sure again this afternoon.
That's the type of service you've got to get. And that's a difficult ball for a goalkeeper, near post. And he's tried to catch it, and he perhaps wish he'd punched it later on, but they got away with it. But Bruce does try and take pressure off Liverpool defence. He does come out and catch an awful lot of balls which sometimes get forgotten. People tend to remember the mistakes because invariably when goalkeepers make mistakes, of course, it can lead to a goal.
Yeah, I wouldn't knock him because I don't think he would have been in the Liverpool side for as long as he has been. And he's just signed another contract. He hasn't got great qualities to go with everything else. That's Houghton, and played just a little too firmly. It's getting quite breezy and quite cool here now at Selhurst Park, and it's just a little too much on that. On that particular ball, it's a goal kick.
It's definitely warmer playing than sitting up here, Brian, that's for sure.
Yeah, I told you to come with your thermal underwear, Gary. Maybe you hadn't got any.
Have to try and sort a deal out with thermals.
Well, Andy Gray has taken off his undershorts, if I can put it that way, that we were talking about a moment ago. Humphrey, here's Gray. An unfair challenge on Barnes. A free kick given by Roger Gifford to Liverpool. Staunton with it. Nicol. Lost that. Salako. Mulby. Barnes doing some good work there, finally brought down by McGoldrick. Gray, some good tackles getting in across there. Splendid work by McGoldrick, evading the challenge of Burrows, and a long ball now for Mark Wright. They claim handball, the linesman agrees, and it'll be a free kick to Liverpool.
Palace strikers, Ian Wright and Mark Wright, are causing Liverpool a lot of problems. They're making good runs because Liverpool are playing the sweeper system. Their fullbacks are pushed on, and they're both exploiting the space behind where the fullbacks would normally be. So they're stretching the Liverpool defence, and Palace are playing that direct ball into the corner flags, and it's causing them problems.
A free kick to Liverpool. As we reach the halfway mark in the first half, 0-0. Steve Staunton with the free kick for Liverpool. Nichols poised on this side of the penalty area, but Salako had watched him. It's a Liverpool throw. Must have just flicked Salako's head. Barnes. Salako hammering that one away, but only as far as Staunton. Mulby. Plenty of Liverpool men forward now. Barnes. Might try something himself. It opened up just for a moment there, Gary, didn't it?
It was. He just got the angle just to curve it, and he went for the top corner. That's where John's so dangerous. When he's around the edge of the box, you can feel the crowd wait in anticipation and fear, obviously, the Palace supporters. But a lovely effort there. And if that just been a bit low, that would have pulled a save out of Nigel Martin.
Wright's header does so well with his back to the goal. Bright. Here's Wright. McGoldrick. Humphrey gone right forward. Now what sort of cross? Well, it comes to Salako. Thomas! Long range. Let's have a quick word with Ian St John. Ian, your thoughts on the first half so far?
Well, I thought Liverpool started the first 5 minutes very positively, with John Barnes attacking well and getting crosses in, but since then, Palace have crept into the game. They've put pressure on Liverpool. Brucey Grobbler looks to be having one of those afternoons where they'll entertain the crowd. But Liverpool have got to be very careful because Palace are looking the more dangerous side at the moment.
Thank you, Saints. Solarco. Right. Making a nice little header back for Gray. Stabbed there by McGoldrick for Humphrey. Keeps it going well. A good dummy there by Gray. It's Wright. Wright's in the middle. And Mulvey was there. And Andy Gray had made a great run too. And so Palace was certainly well represented in that Liverpool penalty area. Another corner. Again, Solarco with it. Again, they're up from the back. Thorne and Young. Grobbler using his fist that time. Solarco will get another turn. Fielding again. Once again, Liverpool get it away. But they're being penned back now by McGoldrick's cross. Barnes bringing it clear with a lot of pace, with McMahon on one side of him and Rush on the other. Here's Steve McMahon. Houghton coming up quickly too. Rush trying to get to it. Palace seemed to half stop there for a moment. The linesman flagging on this side of the field. The referee hasn't seen it, and the game goes on. The linesman's now put his flag down, and away you go, Palace. Right. Stopped in the end by Gillespie. It's got electrifying pace. And he seems to get over his broken leg extremely well. 11 goals this season for him, 10 for Mark Wright. If my records are right, Ian Wright is in fact on 99 League and Cup goals for Crystal Palace, wanting just one for the ton. Barnes. Here's Houghton. John Barnes. Rush. He gave him a yard there and he hit it straight at Shaw. Now Martin, the flag was up again for an offside against John Barnes.
It's real end-to-end stuff at the moment. There's a chance for Barnes, and then at the other end Ian Wright breaks away. It's always like that. There's a lot of quality strikers on display today. Hopefully they'll be able to learn something. The way I'm playing at the moment, anyway.
Now, Gary. Well, we're looking forward to seeing you in action again on Tuesday against Manchester United. Spurs v Manchester United live on the match. That's a 5 o'clock kickoff. And of course, on that particular day, as I'm reminded from the back room, we should be on the air at about 10 to 5 that day with all the news of the afternoon's events in the Football League. Now McGoldrick for Palace on the far side. Too high for Solarco. Houghton. Thomas. Shaw might be running into trouble. Rush gets away from him. It's with Barnes now. And now Houghton. Came off Thorne. Gets that away well. Again the long ball, seeking out the pace of Mark Wright. He's got the better of Hussein now. That's a clear foul there by Hussein on Mark Wright. Some would say a professional foul, but that's such a deep and complicated debate at the moment. But certainly Bright was well on his way, and he was shoved out of the way by Glenn Hussein there.
Yeah, I think he obstructed it. There's no way Glenn could have stopped there. It would have been very harsh, really, to describe that one as a professional foul.
Right, it's a free kick, though, for Palace. Baldrick with it. Grobbler not getting it away. Andy Gray knocked away that time by Gillespie.
think Liverpool are defending a little too deeply on those free kicks because they've got a lot of players right in front of Bruce Grobbelaar, which enables Palace to bend them right in at the goalkeeper. I think they'd be better pushing Palace attackers out a bit.
Young leaping well. Rush getting it away.
Because if you defend so close, it only needs one little touch and it can be in the back of the net.
Good jump there by Bright. Bright trying to finish it off. The ball stayed, it almost stayed in play. It certainly didn't go for the goal kick, which is what Wright wanted to prevent. David Burrows leaving it now to Gary Gillespie. Kenny enjoyed that as well. In such a hurry to get the ball back into play and then get back into the bench, tripped over. It's not often you see him smiling like that during a game, and I tell you, it's not often you see him wrong-footed. Hussein tucked underneath that one. Staunton. Barnes. Rush. Molby. Gillespie. Rush. Glenn Hussein. Houghton. Nickel. Not a bad cross. And it was McGoldrick who'd gone right back there. He took quite a buffeting from Burrows. And Andy Gray, this is a good break for Palace. 3 up, 3 back. Wright has made the break. And what a good run by Humphrey now, the fullback. The cross is in for Gray. A lovely Palace move. But in the end, straight into the arms of Bruce Grobbelaar. What a fabulous move that was.
Terrific play there from Andy Gray. Knocks it out wide. Good run from Ian Wright. Took the defender away, which created the space for the overlap. And crossed it in. A good... I'll leave it there for a second.
Offside flag was up.
But it was another half chance for Crystal Palace. And he struck it well, because that is the hardest ball to hit.
Barnes. Houghton. Humphrey gets it away. Gillespie. Still very well for David Burrows. Into Steve Staunton. Steve McMahon. Burrows again. Claiming offside, but Houghton is onside. But loses the challenge there to Humphrey. And it's back once again with Nigel Martin. Jeff Thomas. Bright. Marco's cross knocked away quite comfortably by Hussein. Molby. Wright's after him, but Molby lost out. There was a foul and a free kick for Liverpool. Heard from the Saint already. Time also just to say, hope Jimmy Greaves, his old sparring partner, is feeling a lot better. Greaves has had a pretty rough old Christmas. Looking forward to you getting up on the perch again with me pretty soon here, Greavesy. It's Houghton. I've been asked to mention lad Rod Gillespie, a long-time supporter of Palace in Westminster Hospital, having a pretty rough time at the moment. Best wishes to Rod from everybody at Selhurst Park. No, just wide from Wright. They left a real chance there.
It was a good try. I thought it was in from this angle up here. Big kick there from Nigel Martin. The direct route. And there's the partnership again. Mark Wright challenging. Ian Wright looking for anything he can get in the area. Gets a good shot in. Good try. I think Palace have certainly threatened more in the last 20 minutes of the game. I think that it's certainly on top, and they'll be pleased. I'm sure Steve Coppell there will be pleased with their first half performance.
Humphrey getting it forward again towards Mark Wright. Mulby. A long clearance. Of course, you would have had a spell with Mark Wright in your Leicester City days.
I did. I played a few games with Mark. Also, I remember the first game I ever played for Everton after I left Leicester. He played in my place and scored 2 goals against us, beating us 3-1. And I got a few cries of what a waste of money that day.
Well, he's certainly a big favourite here at Selhurst Park. Wright. Shaw. Thomas. Here's Wright again. He tried to turn Hussein, and Hussein kept his head well.
But he's always looking to try something in the area. He's a very dangerous customer to have around. I think that, which is why the fact that the two of them have scored so many goals, they complement each other so well.
Rush trying to make the break here. Oh, for a moment, Thorne lost his way, and it looked just necessary only for Rush to make a final little tap into the goal. And it just fell close enough for Nigel Martin to make the gather. So less than 10 minutes left of the first half now. Still 0-0. Gray with the throw for Crystal Palace. It's waiting for Eric Young to get into the penalty area. Right up again and got it well. And Mulby, as cool as you like, gets it back, but an excellent back header there again by Mark Wright. Steve Coppell now on the bench. He left his place, and if you missed the start of that, exclusive news that he just signed a new long-term deal as manager of Crystal Palace. And Fluffy is still number 1 after Cox too, but there's Steve Coppell, manager at Crystal Palace since June 1984. Kenny Dalglish at Liverpool since May 85.
He's still not turned 30, has he?
Stevie Coppell. he's certainly still in his 30s, I would think. Hussein's header. Shaw. Stevie Coppell, we understand. The back room have come to the rescue again. 35, the 3rd youngest manager in the First Division. Thomas. Rush. This is a good break by Burrows. And again, taking Gary Lineker's point, Palace are working so hard. They're getting back people so quickly. There's Nigel Martin. Humphrey. That's a good run. Right. Persuading Humphrey to go on, but he didn't quite get back to the fullback. Good play there by Staunton to McMahon, and some space now for Houghton to work through the midfield for Liverpool. Rush up ahead of him, Barnes away on the left. And stubbing his toe in the ground, and an opportunity that came to nothing. Staunton. Hussein. Gray. Here's Wright again. Tried to thread it through to Mark Bright. Hussein held it up. Staunton away. Barnes is away too. And Humphrey. Real end-to-end stuff. Back to the other end it goes. Hussein beating Bright in the air. McMahon. Here's Gray. Rush does so much of his good work, coming back and tackling back and making life awkward, and Eric Young getting there just before John Barnes. So 40 minutes gone. And another throw.
They're like corners as well, these throws. Andy Gray he's an immense throw.
And it comes from a slightly different angle, doesn't it?
That's right, they can really push in on the goalkeeper again.
Well, Eric Young's up from the defensive areas. Maybe Young, who looks for that header, but there was an infringement.
I think he's actually given a foul throw for foot up there against Andy Gray.
Ah, yes. Well, nobody's quite sure at the moment, Gary.
Well, I saw
Yes,
the linesman
yes.
cock his legs.
That's right.
Where he is, where we took it from. Ah, come on.
I don't think the referee knows
Oh, yes.
what it's for. No?
Sorry.
Oh, you were a good minute ahead of any of them there, Gary. Yes, you just, as you say, the referee just cocked the leg and put his hand behind his head. Here's Bright on the far side now. He's got round his man. He's gone round Gillespie. It's in there. Mark Bright. Palace go into the lead. Bruce Grobbelaar shakes his head. Congratulations were for the number 9. Let's see here now. As Wright got the better of Gillespie, and yes, Mark Bright just tapped it in.
Yeah, great work from Ian Wright. He turned Gillespie there, cut inside, knocks a great ball in. Mark Bright does what all good strikers do, get in front of the defender and just flicked it between Bruce's legs.
Houghton now for Liverpool. Barnes. Nicol. And a goal kick. Oh, Mark Bright goes up to goal number 11. He and Wright both on 11 now, with 3 minutes to go to half-time. They've scored between them 22 out of the 39 goals that Palace have scored this season.
You have to say that they deserve it on the run of play, I think. And I think that'd be good for the game as well, to really make this second half interesting. Liverpool will have to come out now and attack Palace.
Right again. Shaw. Gillespie, who was beaten by that run of Ian Wright's. Staunton. Much through there for Rush. Held up by Young. And it comes for Gray. And Palace are on the move again. Stopped that time by Mulby. Staunton plays it for Barnes. They look for a little bit of goal dust from John Barnes now. Being watched here by Jeff Thomas. McMahon, Staunton, McMahon again. Burrows on the far side. Rush just up ahead of him. Burrows in for Staunton, in for Barnes. And there was a real chance there for Liverpool. to snap back at Palace.
Yes, you can never underestimate them. They're such a great side, and they're never beaten. Chance for John Barnes. Bounced a bit awkwardly for him. Straight at the goalkeeper.
Score now for Palace. It came off Steve Nicol. It's with Thorne. Into time added on at the end of the first half now. McGoldrick on the far side. Gone round Burrows. He's got a nice little cross in there. And Liverpool still at full stretch to get that one away. Andy Gray playing it now for Mark Bright. Can he return the compliment for Wright? No, it's for Humphrey, but straight into the arms of Grobbelaar. Now Houghton. Forward to Barnes. Back for Houghton. Now Burrows. Rush. McMahon to Nicol. Palace fans anxiously whistling now. A good cross whipped in there again by Nicol. Young got the measure of that one. McMahon again, keeping the pressure on Palace in the last seconds, but there goes the half-time whistle. And a splendid finale for Crystal Palace, with Mark Bright's 11th goal of the season, with 3 minutes to go to the interval, made for him by the number 10, Ian Wright. And the half-time then at Selhurst Park. Crystal Palace 1, Liverpool 0.
Happiness is a cigar called Hamlet, the mild cigar.
Far and away the best coach holidays with Wallace Arnold, the leading operator. The new brochures are at your travel agent or any Wallace Arnold office. The Theatre Royal Plymouth presents this year's top family pantomime, Cinderella, an enchanting, spectacular production with the Simmons brothers as the broker's men, Peggy Mount weaving her spell as the fairy godmother, Eric Sykes as funny as ever as Baron Hardup, and with Des O'Connor as Buttons, heading this all-star cast. Cinderella is the pantomime to see. The Theatre Royal Plymouth is the place to be. Oh, yes, it is.
It hurts like hell, Kyle. I'm gonna need some help, mate.
Well, there's a place about 20 miles up the road. Don't go running off now, will you?
Oh, great. How long before the flying dock gets here, mate?
Oh, heck.
Australians wouldn't give a Castlemaine 4X for anything else.
I became infected from an old boyfriend who had injected drugs. I was HIV positive 5 years before I found out. Obviously, I had sex during that time, but I didn't use a condom. I didn't think I needed to.
Only at the MFI sale. Lowest prices guaranteed on Schreiber rigid kitchens. Up to 60% off. The MFI sale. Now on.
We believe it takes a special kind of animal to win AA approval. Esso, the first petrol with the AA seal of approval.
For a TV with near CD quality stereo sound, consider the Panasonic Prism A series with its unique dome sound system. Panasonic Prism A series TVs, the state of the art.
Here, get this. Just one drop of fairy, gets rid of grease.
This fast? That's faster than me out of the kitchen.
See the great reductions at the Argos January sale before they disappear. Argos takes care of it.
I've only had a few sexual partners. They were all heterosexual. I knew I wasn't a drug user. So, where was the risk? The only risk I took was having sex without a condom.
HIV is the virus that causes AIDS. For more information, phone the National AIDS Helpline, free, on 0800 567 123.
Welcome back. Palace leading here, and the news beginning to filter through to the crowd that Steve Coppell has signed a new 3.5-year contract. That's one of the half-time talking points. Coppell and Chairman Rod Nodes did their talking before the match with Gary Newbon.
Steve, did you have a contract before signing today?
Well, not formally, but we both we had an agreement as an understanding as to my situation here, and I have never had any intention of leaving the club, and I've been very happy here. And the agreement we've had between us based on trust has been good enough for me.
So why a need for a contract now?
Well, I think it was just a sense of commitment. I think the time was right, and we got the ridiculous situation because I didn't have a formal contract. Whenever a job became available, like I was linked with it, which I think was unsettling for a lot of people at the club. So I think the time was right for me to say, yes, you know, I am committed to Crystal Palace, and I am prepared, although I didn't feel I needed it with Ron, I am prepared to put it in black and white.
Moving on to the chairman, a lot of people have fancied Steve Coppell as manager, so you must be well pleased to have got him under contract.
I'm delighted, and it's a tribute to him and what he's done, that he's on the short list of almost every decent job that comes up. Also, he's taken Palace to the point now that there aren't that many jobs that are more attractive than this one, I'm hoping.
Certainly a very attractive proposition at the moment, leading Liverpool by a 0-0. Ian, they've got the leaders rattled, haven't they?
Yes, deservedly so as well. You know, they're playing very progressive football, putting Liverpool under lots of pressure. And Bruce Grobbler, of course, is having one of those afternoons, as we said earlier in the day. There he's out there, slide tackle, missed completely. And at that stage there, we were looking for a ball to the back post. You know, I thought if they'd knocked over the back post, there was a great chance. But again, you know, they've attacked Liverpool down the flanks, they've got them in all sorts of trouble. And again, this time, when he came along the byline, Bright this time, he played the ball in, and there's poor Brucey, it's just not his day. The ball was flicked through his legs by Matt Bright. So all in all, you know, it's been a bit of a nightmare for Liverpool this first half.
All right,
and I think Mr Dalglish will need to do something about it.
Half-time, Crystal Palace 1, Liverpool 0. End of the match, our goal of the day competition as always. Here's the winner from last week, and you picked a Palace player.
Yes, I did. I picked again Ian Wright. I thought this was a terrific solo goal. It was a vintage week for goals last week, but I thought that one was a goal out of nothing. And I always feel that when you see a goal like that, completely turns a game.
And he's obviously a good judge,
yes,
because he agrees with you. Michael Duffy of Markfield Crescent, St Helens on Merseyside, who phoned up and said Ian Wright's was the best goal of last weekend. 28 coming up, Ian. Not too many better than this. This one will get my phone vote. Lee Chapman for Leeds United. That and many more at the end of the programme.
They drink Carling Black Label. I'll just go and ask.
right, you've got your all-new Nova. First thing to do is to show it who's boss. Sit. Don't stand there admiring. Take control. And it's hey-ho for the open road. Conscientious little fellow, isn't he? The nippy little rascal naturally shies away from the common herd. And indeed, road hogs. And even after a long, hard run, there's plenty of life in the young pup yet.
Down, boy.
Have you ever wondered just who is responsible for generating electricity for England and Wales? Where does the power that's working your TV right now actually come from? Well, last year, if you added together all the electricity from everyone else's power stations, it would come to this much, about 56% of the total we need. So where, you may wonder, did all the rest come from? Let me enlighten you. It came from the power stations of National Power, the biggest single generator of electricity in Britain.
Classic from Castella, for the man who thinks that little bit bigger.
Welcome back to Selhurst Park. Kenny Dalglish and Ronnie Moran, you can be sure, have had plenty to say in that Liverpool dressing room at half-time with their side a goal down. The scorer Mark Bright with 42 minutes of the game gone for Crystal Palace. Teams as they were at the end of 45 minutes, no substitutes at the start of the second half. And away go Crystal Palace. I suppose one speculation, Gary Lineker, must be that probably Rory Rosenthal might well come on very shortly for Liverpool, I would have thought. He's in a good run of form at the moment.
Yeah, I think if it stays as it is, then or Palace get another one, then certainly they'll be looking to bring him on and probably put John Barnes back out to wide on the left. He's got a lot of options available because of the versatility of his players, so he can change it round, and I would think those might even go to 4-4-2.
Ian Rush getting a little upset with some of the tactics of Jeff Thomas there. It's Staunton.
And Ronnie Rosenthal is in good form, of course. He scored a couple of goals a week ago, so he'll be looking to get on. When you're scoring a few goals, you always fancy it.
Right. Liverpool side, of course, without Ronnie Whelan and without Peter Beardsley. Both injured. Staunton, up to Barnes. Thomas. It's a throw to Liverpool. It's a real strong man in the midfield is Jeff Thomas, the Palace captain, and such a big influence. Here's Barnes at the moment, though. And Thomas has had this hip injury, and the physio was telling me this morning that had the game been yesterday, there's no way that he would have played, but he's battling well through it now. Both the Liverpool substitutes warming up on the far side as Ian Rush now finds Steve McMahon forward now, but there's that man Thomas again. A lot of his football in the lower reaches at Rochdale and at Crewe, and here he is now in the big time at Crystal Palace. Hussein in with Bright in the air. This is John Soako to Richard Shaw. To the younger members of the side. That came off Hussein. It nearly fooled Molby and almost ran to Wright and Bright. Houghton now to David Burrows. There's a bit of space. Now can Houghton use it? He's found Staunton, and Nichols away on the far side. Here's Barnes. Now Nicholl. There's the cross towards Rush, over everybody's heads. Eddie McGoldrick knocking it away for Crystal Palace. Gillespie returning it. Houghton. Time to turn. Gray's after him though. Gets it through to Barnes. And then runs into trouble. John Humphrey brings it away for Palace. Again, Gillespie there with a header. Molby. Hit long towards Barnes, but Young guiding it into touch. Houghton. Barnes. A nasty little deflection off Eric Young, but Nigel Martin in the Palace goal well behind that one. There was a little bit of venom in Barnes's run there.
Yeah, he looks the chief threat to Palace. He's looked good all afternoon whenever he's been given the ball. He's not had a tremendous amount of service, but when he has, he's made the most of it. Just needs a bit of luck there, and hits it perhaps across the goalkeeper rather than the near post, and he would have had a better chance.
Oh, Crystal Palace 12 shots to Liverpool 6, and Liverpool, you notice, have yet to force a corner. Valuable statistic, of course, is that Palace have scored the only goal so far. Mark Bright after 42 minutes. Hussein. Mann. Thorne. And a Liverpool throw. Liverpool, who face a thunderous match against Leeds United at Anfield on New Year's Day. Not much rest between then and now. Palace go to Aston Villa. Here's Staunton. Now McMahon. And that may have just been going wide, but Nigel Martin wasn't going to take any chances at all there. Offside up against Ian Wright. Molby. Humphrey gets it away. Just get the impression, Gary Lineker, that Liverpool are pushing up a little more adventurously now.
I was just thinking the same thing. I think they probably had a few harsh words at half-time from Kenny Dalglish. But having said that, they started the first half in similar fashion, and then Palace wore them down. But they have come out. They do know they're a goal down. They've really got to go for it.
Here's Ray Houghton. And again. And a Liverpool throw. It'll be taken by Steve Nicholl. Barnes. Houghton battling away. Palace get it away only as far as Gary Gillespie. Really shouldered off the ball unfairly there by Andy Gray. It's a free kick to Liverpool in a Barnes position, this, the sort he likes. And if referee Gifford gets the Palace ball back the full 10 yards, then Barnes might just be able to do the business. Staunton also a good free kick man. I saw him score an excellent free kick for the Republic of Ireland against Russia last spring from that sort of position. And I would have thought, and Mulby, of course, mustn't forget him. There's all sorts of variations possible here. It's Mulby, and a terrific save by Martin. So Liverpool get their first corner. Nicol plays it in towards Hussein. Good free kick that, whipped in with so much power.
It was, and it was a particularly good save because I'm sure he, like you, was totally unaware of who was going to hit it because of the talent they've got available to them.
Well, here's Barnes. Ooh. For a moment, Young could have been in danger of sliding one into his own goal. We'll look again at that free kick in a moment. Here it comes.
Yeah, I'm sure that Nigel Martin thought probably John Barnes was going to hit it, but that was right in. That was a very good save, and he's been consistently good all season, Nigel Martin. Whenever I've seen him.
McMahon. Liverpool have caught the breeze at the moment. Barnes. They'll get a free kick. As a man, the Palace fans disagree with it, but will not count. The referee's given that verdict, and it's with Ray Houghton. Nicol into Barnes. Nicol. Came off Salako, it's another corner. This is a better looking spell for Liverpool now.
It's very important as far as Crystal Palace are concerned to weather this storm after half-time and then hope to get back into the game.
There's the corner from Staunton, deeper than anybody in the Liverpool side would have wanted it. Rush. Found Barnes, a little touch though. Thomas. That's a great bit of play there as Barnes and Thomas were tangling there. And you saw the powerful play there of the midfield man and a nice smile at the end of it. It was total commitment by the two men seeking that ball there. Gillespie nodding it away. Here's Barnes again. McMahon. Houghton. Touched on now for Mulby. Good play by Andy Gray. This is a real good game now developing. Thomas. Up to Bright. Mulby. I think McMahon might be in a bit of trouble.
I think the midfield battle's been so important, and Andy Gray and Jeff Thomas have worked so hard for Palace all afternoon. They're really winning that battle, but with Steve McMahon around,
it's a difficult battle to win.
Have their say.
Now Barnes. Rush. Trying to pick out Houghton there, who in turn successfully picks out Steve Nicol. An early cross from him in towards Ian Rush. Barnes trying to get underneath this one, but Nigel Martin was up ahead of him. And the big Cornishman was there for Crystal Palace. Good ball played in there by Nicol. Rush jumping well here. But in the end, it's Nigel Martin's ball. Gillespie, as Liverpool come forward again. Houghton. McMahon. Given away to Richard Shaw. That's Hussein's ball. Mulby. Now Rush trying to lose his marker there. The flag stayed down. He must have been at least level then with the last defender. Shaw gets it away. Dummy by Wright. Falls for Bright. Now Thomas. Good break here with Silako leading the way. Wright falls to the ground there in a little clash with Staunton. And it goes behind in the end for the corner. Steve Staunton furious with that. He felt that had come straight off the Crystal Palace player, and Liverpool arguing with the referee over that one. But he's pointing to the corner flag. McGoldrick will take it. At the moment we'll get another word with Ian St John, but let's see what happens with this corner first. Palace leading by a goal to nil. With 13 minutes of the second half gone. McGoldrick then with the corner. Hussein wins it in the air. Burrows knocks it forward. Rush in full flight, but so too was Humphrey. It's a Liverpool throw. McMahon. Molby. Houghton. Staunton. Well towards Barnes. Shaw got up well, and it was a valuable header of his then. Didn't go very far, only as far as Nicol. Back for Houghton. Well, it was a bad effort there by Ray Houghton, but Ian St John, certainly a better looking performance by Liverpool in this second half.
Well, they've picked things up a bit, Brian, in this second half, playing a lot better football, monopolising the ball, which is their style. But I do feel that they should bring Rosenthal on. I don't think Staunton is really having an impact in midfield. It's the first time I've seen him in this position. I've not been too impressed. I think they have to shake it up now, take him off, bring on Rosenthal, and go Staunton wide on one side, Barnes on the other, and really have a go at Palace.
Thank you, Saint. Gillespie's header. Staunton. McGoldrick. As far as McMahon. Nicol on the far side. Yes, if they bring Rosenthal on, it's interesting to see who Kenny Dalglish might decide to take off. Gary?
I would think he'd probably take one of the two left-sided, Staunton or Burrows, off, and then put John Barnes on the left.
All the excitement's going on the pitch. Maybe we can have a look at it as a marvellous red sunset beyond the other grandstand on the far side. We'll have a look at that in a moment, but here's McGoldrick. Kovalar was down on that one. Barnes. Got the better of Thomas there. But look at Silako back there, hustling, and such a good work, a lot of work up and down the pitch. In the moment, it's Humphrey. Baldrick, swiftly challenged there by Burrows.
I think Palace have got to start hitting those balls into the corners again for Mark Bright and Ian Wright, because they've caused them so many problems in the first half, but they seem to have stopped doing it this half.
Foul on Ian Wright by Gary Gillespie. A free kick to Crystal Palace. McGoldrick and Silako are over it. Thorne and Young up from the back once again. Wright, and Thomas always lurks on the edge of the box. Silako curling it in. Grobbelaar lost it for a moment. In fact, there was... No, I thought that there may have been this. There was a foul on the keeper. Mulby. Gillespie. Young. Just a bit of breathing space there. As far as Staunton. Burrows down the left side now. A long cross by him towards Steve Nicol. It'll come out to Steve McMahon. Nicol, a little flick happens after this, but look at Thomas back again. 26,280 here today, their third highest gate of the season. And Liverpool, I understand, returns some 2,000 tickets. Otherwise it would have been just about a full house, just under 30,000. Here's Wright. McGoldrick, he knew he was there. A lovely cross, lifted in there by McGoldrick. Grobbelaar flapped at that one. Thomas with the shot. They were in trouble there, Liverpool, from the moment Grobbelaar flapped and didn't make any distance, and then particularly when McMahon failed to get it away. And it's Ray Houghton, we think. No, is it Houghton going off?
I think he's waiting to. I think Liverpool want to make the change. They're going to bring on Rosenthal and have a real last-ditch effort at getting this goal back.
Shaw with the header for Crystal Palace. It's Ray Houghton who's going off. So Ronnie Rosenthal's on. See, Steve McMahon went across there, whether he's carrying or not as well. In the meantime, the game goes on. Rosenthal gets his first touch. Nicol plays it in. Humphrey away. Staunton teasing it in there again. Once again, Humphrey's equal to it. Ray battling against Barnes. Gets it clear now to Wright. Wright turns away from Staunton. Facing Mulby. Goes past him, but back comes McMahon. Rosenthal gives it to Brightlow. Here's Ronnie Rosenthal. Action amongst the Liverpool side at the moment, but not an awful lot of pattern here. Rosenthal up there alongside Rush.
I think they're playing John Barnes sort of in a free role behind the two of them and pushing Burrows on the left and Steve Staunton more in the middle. Which is a bit of a surprise. I would have thought perhaps they'd have kept Houghton on and took one of the left-sided ones off and put John out there.
Sonarko's the Palace player in a little bit of trouble there. In good form at the moment, and as you can say, recently rejected a Welsh cap to stay available for England selection. Scored an excellent goal against Sunderland here on Boxing Day. Mulby with the free kick. Flag was up, offside. This disciplined defence came forward as a man. Just under 25 minutes to go. Hussein. Another Palace throw. Gillespie. Well, there was obviously a horrible bobble just as he was about to strike that one. Humphrey with the throw for Palace. The fire just for the moment's gone out of Liverpool's play. Staunton. Barnes. Chance for Hussein to spread it wide on the far side. Nichols gone away on that right-hand side. Rosenthal. Barnes. Nicol. An offside against Ronnie Rosenthal. A free kick to Crystal Palace. Here's Barnes, and now McMahon. Gray coming across to make life awkward for him, and Gillespie too. McMahon. Barnes. Off the referee again. Staunton playing it in towards Rosenthal. Knocking it back towards Nicol. Will it come for Rush? And it won't come for Barnes either, but it comes now for Staunton. More pressure on Crystal Palace. Staunton tries to make it all the way, and in the end was foiled right at the last by Eddie McGoldrick. Good rippling little run there by Steve Staunton.
I thought for a moment he was going to get a shot in, but it was good defending.
It looked as though it was going to fall very pleasantly onto his very strong left foot. There he goes now with the corner. Gillespie up in there, Rush in there. Oh, that was an amazing save by Martin.
Great chance for Ian Rush there. I think that, but he did what you've got to do as a striker, which is keep the ball down, hit the target, and you've just got to give credit to the goalkeeper. I never mind missing if I hit the target, because he had no time to think really. And Nigel Martin keeps Palace in the lead.
Here's Shaw. It's a good break again. Shaw to Salako. Cross coming into right. Didn't begin to get that header right though. Still Palace cling to this 1-goal lead. Victory for Palace would certainly open up that championship race again. This is Wright's header. Take Steve Coppell's side to within 3 points of Liverpool. Rosenthal. Barnes. Rosenthal comes for Rush. Might come for Barnes yet. Thomas got it away for Palace. And it really was all hands to the pumps as well there. Andy Gray taken out by Staunton. Yellow card for the Liverpool number 7 for the foul on Andy Gray. Steve McMahon having words with the referee also. So for that challenge there.
I think he's going to get booked for it, Ryan.
Yep, that's a yellow card. Humphrey with the free kick. Crystal Palace a goal up. Up goes Bright, but beaten in the air by Gillespie. Thomas. Salako. That was an obstruction by McMahon on Thomas, and they just got a little bit angry with each other there. Just a little flurry. And that's the first real sign of a bit of Liverpool frustration. And they both had a pretty hard time in the midfield today, and Roger Gifford, I think, very sensibly saying, now come on, it's not worth a yellow card. And
I don't think Steve McMahon liked getting nutmegged there. I think that's where it probably was, no instead.
So it's a free kick to Crystal Palace. Towards Eric Young. It needed to be a good jump there by Gillespie. And a chance for Liverpool on the break, led by Steve Nicol. But his ball to Barnes was just a little too early and left Barnes unprepared. But Liverpool get a throw. But it's still, Gary Lineker, a match very much on the knife edge.
It is, because you just get the feeling that Liverpool are going to sneak one, but they might be thinking now, after that save from Nigel Martin from Ian Rush, that it might not be their day. That's what they've got to get out of their minds. They've got to keep going, as Liverpool will do, because that's what they've done for years, right until the end.
Barnes gets it up to, as a free kick, the foul on John Barnes, and quickly taken by Steve Staunton. To Steve Nicol, here's Barnes. McMahon, Staunton, played into Rosenthal, McMahon again, too high that time.
I think Steve Coppell will be getting a bit worried at the moment, because Palace aren't looking the same side this half as the first half. You can see there he's trying to get some orders onto the field, probably trying to tell his players to push out and try and get behind Liverpool, which was the thing that was causing the problems in the first half.
Up goes Bright, wins it in the air above Steve Staunton. McGoldrick's little header to John Humphrey. Gillespie, McMahon, in comes Humphrey again. He's had an excellent game at right back. McGoldrick. The little ball now for Ian Wright. Across the face of the goal there. Robillard was down. The flag was up in any case for an offside. Thorne there first for Palace. Wright caught offside. A free kick for Liverpool. Coming up to the last quarter of an hour now. Palace still leading by a goal to nil. Molby forward as Liverpool look ever more dangerous. Young. Gillespie. Barnes. Rosenthal. Well blocked there by Humphrey. McMahon. Really beginning to turn the screw now, Liverpool. Hussein. Staunton. A touch to Burrows. A touch inside for Barnes. Too high again. Their long-range shooting has been way off target.
Yeah, it's a slightly bobbly pitch, actually. I don't think conditions are ideal for that sort of shooting. It's at a vital moment you get a little bobble, and you can't do a lot about it, and the shot flies off as it did there.
Martin with the kick. Barnes, plenty up, space here for Nicol, and problems for Crystal Palace. Salako getting back. Nicol. And the corner that came off John Salako. Staunton will take it. Hussein up, and so is Gillespie. 2 6-footers now in that Palace penalty area. Steve Staunton curling in the corner. Martin first to it. It was Bright who got it away. Mark Bright again with a header. Andy Gray, he's got Ian Wright up, but Wright's offside at the moment. Now he's back on. Gray held that up for him. Salako. There's the cross. Hussein with the header. McGoldrick. Humphrey. And good work again by Gary Gillespie. Poking out the foot and finding Staunton, then running into trouble. It's with Andy Gray, a long-range shot, but it's wide of the target, a goal kick.
He's having a cracking game, Andy Gray. He's involved all over the park. He's working hard with Jeff Thomas in midfield, and he's always ready to have a go from long range. As you see here, it just pushes it out wide there. Probably fouled actually, but kept his balance. We just sliced it slightly off target.
Eric Young forward. Gillespie with the header. Right with the header, just touching it to the skipper, and a yellow card straight away there for Steve Nicol for the foul on Jeff Thomas. He's really been in the wars, mostly with a hip injury. And Nicol coming in, yes, you can see the right boot was very high on that left knee. And I was just amazed how quickly the referee got the yellow card out. There wasn't a shadow of doubt in his mind. So refreshment there for the all-action man, Andy Gray. And some instructions from Steve Coppell as well to take back onto the field. It'll be a free kick to Crystal Palace. Just over 11 minutes of the game to go, a really critical time. Palace, you feel, needing the comfort of a second goal. Well, Gray taking a fast bowler's run on this one. Andy Gray with a shot, cannoned off the defender, behind for the corner.
Laughing at that one. I don't know whether he's laughing because he was trying from so far out, or the fact that he didn't hit it very well.
I've seen him bang them from that distance before. I think that's one of his specialities, and the long run certainly is. Here's McGoldrick. Rush right back there to help out. Might come towards Solarco, and in the end it's Mulby. His brain working overtime, as cool as you like there, just knocking it back to Grobbelaar. Grobbelaar's throw now to Burrows. 10 minutes left. Palace lead by a goal to nil. Rosenthal being chased by Shaw. Liverpool get a corner. And Palace leaving just Ian Wright forward. Mark Wright's gone back. All the Palace players, except Ian Wright, now in their own penalty area. Hussein tried to get there. Rosenthal on the far side. The shot was charged down, but it's another corner.
He's looked quite dangerous, Ronnie Rosenthal, since he's come on. He's very lively, very quick, and he's obviously a natural goal scorer by his record and the fact that things seem to bounce for him in the area.
Nicol with the corner. Floated there towards Barnes, flicked on by him. McGoldrick can drag this one away for Palace, succeeds in doing so. And Wright is up there, being pursued now by Burrows. Wright with the ball almost into the path of Bright. Andy Gray's in there too. It's for Andy Gray, and Grobbelaar just there before him, but a corner for Crystal Palace. Now that's what you call end-to-end stuff.
Great breakaway there down the right. More great work from Ian Wright. A terrific crossfield pass to Mark Bright here, who does a nice little cross to the near post, and Andy Gray, everywhere on the field, just gets in front of Bruce, but Bruce did enough to stop them scoring.
9 minutes left. McGoldrick with a corner. Eric Young goes forward. Palace looking for that second goal. Eric Young trying a backward header. Hussein only got it as far as Solarco. Goal kick. Got to think about your man of the match very shortly. The Barclays man of the match, Gary. Just go through one or two of the runners and riders. You've mentioned Andy Gray.
Yeah, I think he'll be in contention, and Jeff Thomas. Being a striker myself, I would think I'm very likely to pick one. I won't be picking a defender. I'll tell you that now.
Although there have been one or two very good defensive performances, actually, haven't there?
There have been some good defence. I think Jan Mulby's been one of the best players for Liverpool today. And
I think Humphrey of Palace has had a good game at right back.
And the two centre-halves as well have been very solid back there.
Well, it's Nigel Martin, who's also made a couple of excellent saves for Palace. Gillespie. Nicol. Barnes. Gillespie. To Barnes. Oh, too high once again. Closes his eyes in resignation there, and another chance goes away for Liverpool.
It's amazing, actually, how many shots they've had that have gone in a similar place, just high into the left of the goal.
Gillespie. Say it every time you watch them, and most times they prove you right, Liverpool. You never write them off. But Thomas doing sterling work there in the midfield again for Crystal Palace. And what a lovely ball by Bright. No, just played a little too firmly there. Salako couldn't gather it up. Salako. Did well there to beat Nicol. The header from McGoldrick. Well, that takes a bit of doing, John Salako there, with Nicol closed him down to such a degree. And still whipped in a near-perfect cross. Thomas. A little over 5 minutes left. Nicol. Barnes. Salako. Shaw. Mulvey and Bright. Salako. Shaw. Bright chasing away again. And Gillespie, or rather Hussein, getting a vital challenge in there. Palace's throw. Shaw with it. Inside the last 5 minutes. Gillespie. Here's Wright. Is it short for Thomas? Salako. It's a good long cross again towards McGoldrick. Andy Gray. McGoldrick. It's a Palace ball.
They certainly seem to weather the storm now, Palace. They've come right back into the game, despite a lull for them in the early part of the second half, and they look on their way to a victory now.
Still 3 minutes left. Gray. And it'll be a goal kick.
A win for Palace will certainly make the league more interesting. I think it'll tighten it up at the top.
Yes, they get within 3 points of Liverpool. Arsenal will then be just 1 point behind Liverpool. Here's Wright. What's he going to give? No penalty. That was a great break by Ian Wright. Hussein was on his heels. The referee had a really good long look at it. I must say their pace was so quick that the referee was left a little bit behind, but he had a good long look at it, decided no penalty. Wright stays down, and Liverpool come forward. Nicol on the far side, still Ian Wright down. Stopped by Salako, and it must have just come off Nicol last because it's a goal kick.
From up here, Brian, I thought the ball might have struck a hand. I don't know. I was quite a way away up here, but it'd be interesting to see the replay.
Which down at that end or at this end?
The penalty incident I'm talking about. This one here, Brian. Ian's got in front there, and yes, it definitely. I don't think there's probably intent there, but it would have been an understandable penalty, I think.
You get the impression of a ball hitting the hand.
He's definitely scooped it back. Well, I got away with that one, Glenn.
So let's talk about the man of the match. Who are you going to choose?
Well, he's right there, Brian. He's in picture, Ian Wright. I was between the two of them, Ian Wright and Mark Bright. I didn't know which one to give it because Mark Bright scored the goal, but he's been exciting all afternoon. Every time he's got the ball, you think something's going to happen. A terrific performance. I'll give it to him, but I think he ought to give a glass or two to Mark Bright.
I think he should. I was just going to say that I don't want to get you embroiled in speculation, but people see him as a future England player, and he's on the fringe. He's very much in Graham Taylor's mind, we know. But they always say there's a big gulf between this and international football.
I'm sure his chance will come, Brian, if he keeps playing the way he's doing at the moment.
And do you feel he's got what it takes?
I think he has. You can never really know until they actually take their chance. But he has got a lot of ability.
In the meantime, with just over a minute to go, here's Andy Gray. And it's Liverpool's ball. But Andy Gray doesn't want to give it up. Well, it's a real last-ditch attempt now for Liverpool. Certainly had a mixed visit or two to London this season. They beat Tottenham and played well that day. They lost to Arsenal, flag up for an offside. They look as though they might lose here. They drew at Queen's Park Rangers. They had a win early on, I remember, in the season at Wimbledon. It's a free kick to Crystal Palace. The loudspeakers just announced Gary Lineker's verdict about Ian Wright, and you could probably hear the approval amongst the Palace fans for that. Time added on now at the end of 90 minutes. But could have a real bearing on the championship. And here's Ian Wright. Andy Gray has made a great burst from the midfield, but it was just played a little too firmly for him, but he did a play. That was a great bit of play. Humphrey, it came off Burrows. Play to extra time now. It's with Mark Bright and a goal kick. Up goes Thorne. Here's McGoldrick. Certainly Palace slowly but surely wiping away the memories of that 9-0 defeat last season at Anfield with the cup win, and now this one in the league. That's if it's going to be a win. But here's Staunton, a deep cross towards Nicol on the far side. A good header though by Richard Shaw and by Salako. Salako gets it away up to Bright. Now Gillespie, there goes the final whistle though. And Palace have won. And the race for the championship now truly on. Mark Bright's goal after 42 minutes. Arsenal just 1 point behind Liverpool. Palace now just 3 points behind Liverpool. Mind you, Liverpool have been through it all before. But they know the match at Anfield against Leeds on New Year's Day takes on a new importance now. And Palace are right there. Let's go and join Gary Newborn.
Steve, another very important win against Liverpool, only 3 points behind them. What were your great qualities today?
Well, I think it was all shown in the second half, really, where we had great qualities of character, and we just never gave in, which was vital.
You'd planned beforehand to play these long balls to your two strikers.
No.
You hadn't? I thought I saw you doing it this morning. Well, the most important thing is you've won, and perhaps you should have asked for a longer contract.
I should have done, yeah. More money anyway.
Well done.
Off he goes, Steve Coppell, who masterminded Liverpool's second downfall of the league season so far. We'll be back in a moment too with all the goals from yesterday in our Goal of the Day competition. Join us again.
I make these chicken balls for Nightcam TV.
She's the girl that makes the thing that holds the oil, that oils the ring, that takes the shank, that moves the crank, that works the thingamabob. It's a tickly-awesome job, making a thing for a thingamabob, especially when you find out what it's for. But she's the girl that makes the thing that fills the hole, that holds the spring, that works the thingamabob, that makes the engines roar. And it's the girl that makes the thing that holds the oil, that oils the ring, that makes the thingamabob, that's going to make some more.
And you thought we just made television thingamabobs.
All animals develop special senses to survive. Sometimes we need to use those senses in our domestic lives. Say there was a gas leak. Use your nose. Check to see if a gas burner has been left unlit. Turn gas off at the meter. Use your eyes. See that doors and windows are open. Above all, use your common sense. Don't smoke. Don't use naked flame. Don't touch any electrical switches, not even doorbells. Use your voice. Phone the gas emergency service straight away. Don't leave it to anyone else. No matter what time it is, British Gas will be there as fast as humanly possible with one of our skilled engineers.
Esso quality motor oils. In tests, most cats said their engines preferred them.
Okay, dear, you've got yourself a castle. Check Alaskan Oil. I don't care whose friend he is, he used phony numbers. Fire him. Pull over. It got better. It's all right. You've got yourself a lift. Get in. Would you like a drink? Armagnac, 1929. Cost me $600. One marriage and 2 ulcers.
What is an ulcer?
What's an ulcer? What's an ulcer? You should meet my wife.
In the Homeworld sale, we've cut the price of every piece of furniture and hundreds of different electrical items. The Homeworld sale, open New Year's Day.
To keep going as long as Duracell, how many times would you expect to replace ordinary SP batteries? Twice? 3 times. In this continuous test, Duracell outlasts ordinary SP batteries by up to 6 times. So why settle for anything less? Duracell. No ordinary battery looks like it or lasts like it.
If you suffer from catarrh or blocked sinuses, there's no such thing as a common cold. Mucron is a powerful decongestant. A single tablet will help clear your head and relieve sinus pain. Mucron, a decongestant for the uncommon cold.
Welcome back. Crystal Palace 1, Liverpool 0. A final score. Pressure's on this fella now because it's time for our Goal of the Day competition. Your chance to win big money if you agree with Ian St. John. Sheffield United, one of the First Division's form teams over Christmas, took the lead at Highbury. Vinnie Jones's cross was deflected to Ian Bryson. Bryson's third of the week kept United in front until 5 minutes into the second half, when Vinnie Jones definitely pulled at Perry Grove's shirt. You can hardly criticise the referee for awarding a penalty. Lee Dixon, 1-1. Arsenal then ran away with it. The next went down as a Paul Beasley own goal, but we've looked at it a few times. It's Alan Smith's goal, a toe poke right through Beasley's legs. 2-1. Another break down the left. Nigel Winterburn to Paul Merson. Arsenal now in full flight, and a late contender for celebration scenes of the year. Michael Thomas with a cute goal, followed by a touch of Saturday afternoon fever. United reduced to a standstill by this stage. 5 minutes from the end, Paul Davies picking out Alan Smith, his second on the day and his 11th in 9 games. The best Leeds United team for 12 years, and that's official. 14 games is the longest they've gone without a defeat since the days of Jimmy Adamson. Lee Chapman there with a goal to be proud of after 10 minutes. Now, of all the teams to get caught out like this, Wimbledon baffled and bemused by Lukic's long ball. Gary Speed 2-0 5 minutes later. As usual, Leeds had it all wrapped up before half-time. White's flick, Mel Sterling's third consecutive scoring match. Over 47,000 at Old Trafford, the biggest league attendance of the season anywhere. Ian Ormondroyd's challenge on Dennis Irwin lacked any real defensive expertise, and Steve Bruce promptly dispatched his 6th penalty of the season, his 3rd in a week. Ormondroyd was an early replacement for the injured Tony Daly. There were some similarities too, as Ormondroyd twisted down the left, creating enough havoc to induce a rare moment of embarrassment for the elegant Gary Pallister. But Nigel Spink was more responsible for a point than anyone else. Brian Clough's got his problems at the moment, and you don't need to be a genius to work out what they are. Forest are conceding all manner of goals. Niall Quinn popping up in a crowd for number 1. Less than 2 minutes later, Tommy Gaynor sprang the offside trap and cruised onto Gary Parker's over-the-top pass. For Gaynor, replacing the injured Jemson, it was just a Saturday afternoon stroll. But this was to be City's first away win of the season. Poynton's cross deflected onto the bar by David White. Quinn picking up the pieces, his 7th in 7 games. Forest defence once again in dreamland as White picked out Wayne Clark. His first goal for City after a loan spell with Shrewsbury. Kenilworth Road has seen fewer First Division goals than any other ground this season. Luton don't concede a lot, but they don't score a lot either. No wonder 3 players claimed the first. We're plumping for a Jason Cundy own goal. Kingsley Black settled it for Luton. 7 minutes from time to end a losing sequence of 3 straight. Paul Gascoigne missed out through illness. Spurs championship hopes not looking too healthy either. Matt Letitia took centre stage in Gazza's absence. Having scored the first, he took the free kick that led to the second. Unmarked, Rod Wallace with his 3rd in a week and 10th of the season. Letitia and Wallace are a formidable pair when they're both on song. Maybe that doesn't happen often enough, but they're crowd pleasers, aren't they? Letitia, 3-0. More spills than thrills at Goodison Park. Mark Taylor, Derby standing keeper, presenting Mike Newell with a belated Christmas present. That was 8 minutes from the end. Newell on a sub. Shortly after that, with Neil MacDonald again the provider, little Pat Nevin popped up at the far post with a very rare-headed goal. 2-0, 3 points and a step further away from the threat of relegation. Norwich are sort of consistently inconsistent. They'll win a couple, lose a couple. They're on a downer at the moment. They certainly felt that penalty incident was more a case of 6 of one, half a dozen of the other, plus a touch of the theatricals by David Speedy. Brian Burrows with the kick. 1-0. Well, Norwich have only got themselves to blame for the second, having left Speedy unmarked at the far post to volley David Smith's cross. It certainly looked as if Brian Gunn might have kept it out. Terry Butcher's second league win. An air of desperation about this one. Rangers with only 2 points from 10 games. Sunderland with only 1 point from 5. Gus Caesar fouling David Rush, and the first of 3 penalties. But Paul Bracewell was foiled by Jan Steischl. Spurred on by that unexpected bonus, Rangers took the lead. Ray Wilkins crossing for Danny Maddox after 37 minutes. Sunderland back on level terms just before the interval when Colin Pascoe capitalised on Rangers' inability to get the ball clear. 1-1. Second half, barely 4 minutes old when Sunderland went in front. Rush deputising for Gabbiadini, was pulled from behind by David Bardsley. Paul Bracewell handed responsibility to Kevin Ball. No mistake. On 63 minutes, John Kay flattened Andy Sinton. No debate as to who takes them for QPR. Roy Wegley, his 15th of the season, 7 of them penalties. Rangers' deserved winner came with about a quarter of an hour left. Mark Falco. Ian's pondering. You have your guess and then ring 0898 4045 05 before Friday. Well, let's have a little look at the top of the First Division. Liverpool's lead over Arsenal now 1 point, although they have played a game less. Palace in 3rd place, above Leeds in 4th. So a very crucial game then for the teams in 5th and 6th place on New Year's Day. Manchester United away to Tottenham Hotspur. Our programme starts at 4:45 with all the news of the afternoon games. The kick-off at 5 o'clock. Well, Ian, not so long ago they were saying it was a 2-horse race. It's clearly a 4-horse race, isn't it?
You know, the league is never a 2-horse race, as early as people were saying, and today's result only proves that point. Liverpool have been inconsistent, although the record has been terrific this year, but inconsistent in the way they've won games. And I thought today was another one of their below pars. And great credit to Crystal Palace, who have improved 100% from those games last week. Tremendous.
Thanks very much indeed, Ian. So we're back on New Year's Day. An interview with a very famous football fan indeed, the new Prime Minister, John Major. We'll leave you with some of the highlights of 1990. See you next year.
You can't touch this. 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 You can't touch this.